Blake Bortles, once again a top 12 fantasy quarterback. He's now thrown for over 350 yards in 2 of his last 3. He's third among quarterbacks in rushing yards. And if you need a quarterback this week, he's a great add for Week 5, as he has a favorable matchup against the Chiefs defense. It's been absolutely brutal against opposing quarterbacks this year. Bortles still available in over 80% of ESPN leagues. Running back, how about Nyheim Hines? You know, he actually leads the Colts in receptions. And with T.Y. Hilton banged up and Andrew Luck continuing to throw short, I expect Hines to remain heavily involved. Week 5, Colts face Tom Brady and the Patriots. You know they should have to throw to keep up with New England. Hines available in nearly 85% of ESPN leagues. And believe me, no one knows better than me what a frustrating last few games it has been for Antonio Callaway. But it's hard to overlook his opportunity. Over the last 2 weeks, Callaway has seen 19 targets. He's averaging over 16 air yards per target. If that type of usage continues, it's only a matter of time before he starts converting those targets into fantasy points. He's crazy talented, and he's still available in 67% of ESPN leagues. Hey, you want the most in-depth fantasy information? Or just, you know, want to see a grown man talk to puppets? Well, then be sure to get the Fantasy Show, streaming all season long on ESPN+.
Press coverage now. Mike Reese joined us earlier from Foxborough. He checks again and again via Twitter. Rob Gronkowski was not spotted at the start of today's walkthrough practice. Again, a short week for New England. Gronkowski dealing with an ankle injury that's not believed to be too serious, but still perhaps if you're a fantasy owner and you got Gronk, what should you know?
You have to look at the waiver wire for tight ends. Now, the pickings are slim. Players that come to mind include Vance McDonald of the Steelers, Antonio Gates of the LA Chargers, and maybe, just maybe, Jeff Hireman, who we saw last night for the Denver Broncos, played 88% of their offensive snaps. But really, I can't remember a time where a position has been as decimated by injuries and ineffective play as the tight end spot has been this year in fantasy football. It is an absolute wasteland.
It's been one after another. Well, we heard Matthew Berry talk about Blake Bortles. He has overperformed these guys right here. Not the case. In fact, if you have them, you've probably had some few choice words. So these guys need to deliver. Hold them or fold them, and we'll go each one starting with Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, I'm going to go with fold them for Kelvin Benjamin, who's found the end zone just once so far this season. As a matter of fact, I almost feel like the best case for holding on to Kelvin Benjamin is if the possibility exists he could get traded by the Buffalo Bills, something that Mike Grodak, who covers the team for us, suggested might be a reasonable look for the Bills because of where their season is headed right now. But no, can't seem to get off man coverage, not doing much in the red zone. Fold them on Kelvin Benjamin.
All right, Pierre Garçon.
I'm going to go with hold him, but it's like my last straw for Pierre Garçon. The only thing I'll say is it was his most productive game of the season in Week 4. I don't think that the offense gets better with C.J. Beathard, and maybe this is more anecdotal than anything else, but it does seem as though there is a connection between Garçon and Beathard that keeps him on the radar.
You have to think things turn around for Derrick Henry, no?
Yeah, but I would just say if you need the roster spot,
fold him.
Derrick Henry, if you need the roster spot, because it's clear this offense operates more effectively and fluently with Dion Lewis on the field. He's a much better pass catcher, and right now Derrick Henry is supposed to be a power back, is not chewing up those power yards. So if you need to pick somebody else up, go ahead and fold him on Derrick Henry.
After 4 weeks, all right, Duke Johnson.
Yeah, again, this is sort of breathing new life into Duke Johnson after what we saw this past Sunday against the Oakland Raiders. I keep talking about wanting more and more touches for Duke Johnson. If you play in a deeper PPR league, Duke Johnson could eventually become closer to what he was last season when he was averaging, close to 5 catches per game. Hold him on Duke Johnson. But again, he's on a short leash.
We talked about Russell Wilson earlier, who's seemingly running for his life constantly, which isn't helping his cause. Hold him, fold him?
Most difficult decision on this list for me was Russell Wilson. Hold him only because he has started slow in the past in previous seasons. He is a player that has never necessarily needed the best wide receiver group in order to be fantasy relevant. We have not yet seen much in terms of running from Russell Wilson. If that comes either in a designed or non-designed manner, that right there will give him much more fantasy value. For now, he's on the starter, but he can keep him on the roster.
All right, 3 and 2 in the hold him and fold him category after Week 4. Week 4 in the book. Hard to believe. Another week has come and gone. Hat Tuesday. Who are we all in on? Find out. Adam Schefter with his tiny hat next.